Picture this, you wake up every morning drowning in bills, your bank account? Always close to zero, every paycheck disappears the second it hits your account. But what if I told you, the same person who was barely scraping by went on to build a multi-million-dollar real estate empire, all in under 10 years? Stick around, because this isn't just his story, it could be yours too. In this video, I'm going to share the incredible journey of a guy who turned his entire life around. From living paycheck to paycheck, buried under debt, and constantly stressed out, to owning dozens of rental properties, earning passive income, and finally reaching financial freedom. But here's the truth, it wasn't easy. He failed. He struggled. He almost quit, yet somehow, he kept going. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how he did it, and how you can start your own journey, too. Meet Ethan. In his mid-20s, Ethan was stuck in the same grind most people know all too well. Every single day felt the same: wake up, rush to work, sit at a desk for 8 long hours, clock out, crawl back home, repeat. He had a boring 9 to 5 job that barely covered his bills. Every paycheck felt like a temporary bandage on a growing wound. Rent, always late, credit cards, maxed out, savings, non-existent, dreams fading fast. He lived for Fridays but dreaded Mondays. Every Sunday night, he'd lie in bed staring at the ceiling, his chest heavy with anxiety, knowing the same exhausting cycle was waiting for him in the morning. He wanted more from life: freedom, security, purpose, but no matter how hard he worked, he felt stuck. It was like running on a treadmill, sweating, panting, giving it everything he had, but getting nowhere. And then came the breaking point. One night, around 2 a.m., Ethan lay awake in his tiny, cramped apartment. Bills were piled up on his nightstand, collection notices on his phone, his fridge almost empty. He whispered to himself, "Man, is this really it? Is this how the rest of my life's gonna look? Just barely surviving, living paycheck to paycheck, until I'm old and burned out?" That night hit different. It wasn't just another bad day. It was the moment Ethan realized something had to change. This was his wake-up call, his breaking point. Ethan realized something life-changing. He was never going to get rich by just saving money. No matter how many hours he worked, no matter how many lattes he skipped or subscriptions he canceled, his situation wouldn't change, because the truth is, you can't save your way to financial freedom. If he wanted out of the paycheck-to-paycheck trap, he had to think differently. He had to learn how money actually works. So Ethan made a decision. He was going to educate himself. He became obsessed. Every spare moment, he was reading, watching, listening, and learning. The books piled up on his nightstand. He devoured Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. He highlighted every page of The Millionaire Real Estate Investor by Gary Keller. He spent nights listening to podcasts and binge-watching YouTube videos about money, investing, and financial freedom. And then, he stumbled across an idea that shook him to his core: the poor work for money, the rich make money work for them. It hit him like a freight train. All this time, he'd been trading his time for dollars, while wealthy people were building systems and assets that made money 24/7, even while they slept. That was it. That was the light bulb moment. Ethan decided, right then and there, no more trading time for money. No more living at the mercy of every paycheck. He was going to build assets, things that earned for him whether he worked or not. From that night forward, Ethan's mindset was never the same. He finally understood, if he wanted a different life, he had to play by a different set of rules. But here's the thing, reading books doesn't pay the bills. Knowledge without action, it changes nothing. Ethan knew it was time to move. No more excuses. No more waiting for the perfect moment, because it was never going to come. For the next 12 months, he went into full hustle mode. He cut out every unnecessary expense. No eating out. No new gadgets. No weekend trips. While his friends spent money on parties and vacations, Ethan was grinding in silence. He picked up overtime shifts at work, took freelance gigs on the side, and even sold old furniture and electronics he didn't need. Dollar by dollar, day by day, he scraped together $5,000. To most people, that's not much, but to Ethan, it was everything. And then, he made the move that would change his life forever. With that $5,000, he bought his first investment property, a tiny, beat-up apartment in a rough neighborhood. Everyone thought he'd lost his mind. His friends laughed, "Bro, you're throwing your money away." His coworkers warned him, "That place is a money pit." But Ethan, he wasn't listening, because while they were doubting, he had a plan. He rolled up his sleeves, learned the basics of renovation, and spent nights and weekends fixing the place up, piece by piece. There were moments when he wanted to quit. The walls were cracked, the plumbing was a nightmare, the bills kept piling up, but Ethan kept going. A few months later, the transformation was complete. The once rundown apartment was livable, clean, and ready. He rented it out, and within 6 months, that little apartment became cash flow positive. That first small win, it wasn't just money in his pocket. It was proof. Proof that he didn't have to stay stuck, proof that he could change his future. And once Ethan tasted success for the very first time, it lit a fire inside him. This was just the beginning. Ethan had a realization that changed everything. If one tiny property could bring in a few $100s every month, then 10 properties could rewrite his entire future. That thought hit him like lightning. From that moment, he went all in. He became obsessed with real estate financing, while others were scrolling social media or binge-watching Netflix. Ethan was up late, studying how the wealthy use the bank's money instead of their own. He fixed his credit score. He mastered creative financing strategies. He learned how to leverage debt without drowning in it. And then, he made himself a promise: every single dollar I make goes straight back into building assets. No splurging. No lifestyle upgrades, just discipline, and it worked. Year 2, Ethan owned 3 rental properties. Year 4, 8 properties, all generating steady cash flow. Year 6, the impossible happened. He bought his first apartment complex. A milestone he once thought was out of reach. By now, people around him started whispering, "Man, Ethan's so lucky." But Ethan just smiled, because he knew the truth. Luck had nothing to do with it. He wasn't lucky. He was relentless. He studied harder. He worked smarter. He took calculated risks, and when he stumbled, and he stumbled a lot, he refused to quit. This wasn't chance, this was strategy, this was sacrifice, this was sheer determination. Fast forward 10 years, Ethan's life looks nothing like it used to. His passive income now makes more in a single month than he once earned in an entire year at his old job. No more late rent notices. No more credit card stress. No more living just to pay the bills. He walked away from the 9 to 5 grind and finally took control of his life. These days, Ethan travels the world, spends more time with family, and enjoys the one thing he was chasing all along: freedom. But Ethan didn't stop there. Today, he mentors others, people stuck in that same paycheck-to-paycheck trap he once lived in. He shows them that financial freedom is possible, if you're willing to learn, take action, and stay consistent. Key lessons from Ethan's journey: stop trading time for money. Build assets that make money for you, even while you sleep. Educate yourself. Learn how money really works and how the wealthy think. Reinvest your profits. Don't spend every dollar. Let your money work harder than you do. Start small, stay consistent. That one tiny property changed Ethan's life forever. Mindset is everything. If you believe it's possible, you'll find a way. Here's the truth most people ignore. Ethan wasn't a genius. He didn't come from wealthy parents. He wasn't born lucky. He was just an ordinary guy who made one extraordinary decision: to never settle for less. From that moment on, he kept moving forward, kept learning, kept building, and he never looked back. And if Ethan can do it, so can you, because the journey to financial freedom doesn't start with money. It starts with a decision and a belief that you deserve more. So, are you ready to break free from living paycheck to paycheck? Are you ready to start building your own empire? Because if Ethan could do it, so can you. If this video inspired you, smash that like button, subscribe for more, and share this with someone who needs that push right now.